Basically, today's topic is about intellectual property registration, and ERSB is at the forefront of this, and I can assure you that intellectual property has since gained momentum in Uganda. We are looking at things that the works that are done out of the faculty of or someone's intellect. Intellectual properties are basically works of the mind, the innovations, the inventions that human beings come up with to either better services or in terms of solutions, among others. Basically, intellectual properties, I was asked to talk about majorly two things: copyrights and trademarks, and how are the two distinguishable. I will start with trademarks. Trademarks are those marks, the symbols, the design, the product designs, the color, the smell, the wording, the signature, among others, that would distinguish one product from the other, or that would distinguish one service, a service of one person from the service of the other. I was giving an example of Urban TV. If the way you look at how Urban TV, the logo is designed, would then be different from any other logo of another TV. So in other words, whenever the consumer looks at the logo of Urban TV, they are able to know that the product I'm consuming is from Urban TV and not from Chikubo TV or something like that. So trademarks are basically those marks, the designs, the sound, and anything that would distinguish one product from the other. Then copyrights are the literary works, the writings, the books, the songs that we like listening to, the novels, the poems, and the like. The computer applications, those applications that we use, those are copyrightable. Then programs like this, a TV program, so those ones are copyrightable. In other words, copyright protection would then give the owner or the author exclusive ownership and right over any other person. How are the two registered in brief? For trademarks, you are supposed to come up with your design, the presentation, we call it a presentation of the mark that you are intending to register, and then submit it to Uganda Registration Services Bureau at any of our offices countrywide, from Arua to Gulu to Mbale to Kampala to Masaka to Mbarara. You submit your presentation to any of our offices. Payments are simple: 25,000 for the search and then 50,000 for the application. Would then send you to go and publish your presentation in a newspaper of wide circulation in the country or Uganda Gazette for a period that we would wait for any person to come and object and say, wait, I am the owner of this. This one should not be registering it. Once there is no objection, then we proceed and give you a trademark registration, which would last for 7 years, and then it is renewable for 10 years. Then later you can renew it for 10 years going forward in perpetuity. Copyrights, the process is the same. If you have written a book, all we want is an original copy of that book, and you fill an application and you pay 50,000. Would then publish, would of course run the work or the book against our records to see that no one else has registered the same. Once we find no one has registered the same, then we proceed and give you a notice to publish. After 60 days, if no one has come to object to your registration of that copyright, then for it you'll get a certificate which you will own throughout your lifetime. And after your demise, that copyright is protected. In other words, if you leave someone as your next of kin or a heir, or you bequeath it, still that person will enjoy it for the next 50 years after your demise. So you can see that the protection is really strong. Yes, and what I wanted to tell the viewers is that once there is infringement, you don't need to go anywhere else. You approach URSB. URSB has the enforcement team, which is composed of our officers and also the police. Then they would do, I like calling it a raid. They would raid the person who is infringing on your work and have that person charged. You'll then be paid either damages or that person is imprisoned. Yes, in brief, that's what we want to do. Maybe to remind the public that our offices are all over the country, in all regions. In Mbarara, we are on Plot 1, Kamkuzi Hill, the office of the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And in other districts, in Mbale, we are at the same office, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. In Gulu, the same location. In Kampala, we are at Georgian House, that is the headquarters. We have a small branch at, we have a branch actually at the post office building. We have another one downtown on opposite Sekaziga House. We have another one on Twed Plaza at Lumumba Avenue. Then in Masaka, we have an office at the mayor's chambers. So we are in every corner of Uganda. We are approachable for your registrations, right from businesses to intellectual properties to marriages, to also getting guidance on how best you can manage your businesses in terms of corporate governance and the like. Yes, you're most welcome to Uganda Registration Services Bureau.